What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 6. Pinky Swear? Okay, not Pinky Swear, but Swear. And this is pretty interesting at times. It's funny because I'm seeing, what's really funny about the show is how many people enjoy it, but then episodes like this, I see so many people just hating on the show because of it. And then the first episode of the season happens, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is the best show ever." And then the same people, after an episode like this, is like, "God, Walking Dead is just so boring and just." Here's my thing. I understand there are going to be slower episodes. This is definitely one of the slower episodes. However, it's not one of the worst because it's still doing something different. It's still giving us something different. It's introducing new characters. I'm sure this wasn't just a what happened to Tara, oh, this is what happened to her, and that's the last we're going to see these women. No, this is clearly we're introducing Oceanside, all these women who have dealt with Negan's group before, all of the men in their group got killed by Negan. They're gonna come back later. This is not just oh, what happened to Tara? Well, this happened to her, and that's all we need to know now. No, I mean, obviously, we are finding out what happened to Tara, where she been this whole time, what she been up to. This is what we're discovering now. But it doesn't, it's still an episode that forwards the story. It's still an episode that provides more as far as what our characters are going to do. I mean, the scene at the end between Tara and Rosita kind of shows that this is going to come back later. We're going to have a moment probably where Rosita finds out Tara was holding back on her, and she's going to be upset by that. So, while slow, it was still an interesting episode as far as the story building, as far as the character building. I thought it was well done in that respect. However, are there problems? Yes, quite a bit. Because as much as the interesting part of this story was the character building, there are several mistakes in this that I don't understand how they could have made. You know, it was Fear the Walking Dead bad. And if you don't know how bad Fear the Walking Dead is with its mistakes, go watch my reviews. I talk all about it. But yeah, there's so many. I mean, even my mom, who loves this show, and whenever I have a small critique of it, she freaks out on me. She's like, "No, there's nothing wrong with this show." The whole Glenn under the dumpster thing, I hated, and how they handled all that. She's like, "No, don't you see? It's brilliant, and how they're doing this and this and this." I I didn't see any of that. You know, I thought it was just a way to fake us out, to make us think, oh, Glenn didn't die, so he's obviously not going to die by Negan's bat. So I look at that as what the writers did to kind of fake us out. She looks at it and sees brilliance. So even she tonight was saying, okay, normally I don't pick on the show, I don't critique the show, but Tara should be dead right now. And she should. And even on The Talking Dead, they even made fun of it on there. Like somebody apparently tweeted, and Chris Hardwick even read it, said, the women on Oceanside fire like stormtroopers. They do. How on earth did they miss her so many times? Even the last part where she's going to kill the walker and she knows they're about to kill her, and they shoot and miss her again. How? Not even one hit, not even a hit in the shoulder. Now she's wounded. No, she comes off completely scot clean. No scratches, no bullet wounds. They suck at shooting. And it's kind of funny because you really think about it, and what they should be doing with these women is kind of making us want to see them help out. After watching them shoot, I don't want to see that. They're terrible. They're terrible shots. They're going to show up and be like, don't worry, Rick, we're here to save you. And Negan's like standing right in front of them, and they shoot and hit Rick in the head on accident. I mean, that's what I feel like is going to happen. So, I don't know. It was bizarre. And normally, the show doesn't do that. Normally, the show is pretty good at keeping stupid stuff like that out of it. You know, they could have done so much. They could have had it where they were firing at her from a distance, and she gets hit in the leg or something. But no, they were missing. Hang on. Me to you right now. This is how close they were. We were this close, and it just bang. And I don't know how. I really don't know how. And it's bizarre to me because even Sydney is talking about, oh, I'm one of the best here. That's not saying much. Obviously, we see her taking out the walkers on the bridge, but that's really not saying much at all. Because you really look at these women shooting, and they, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So that part of it was really stupid. And then at the end of the episode, we have even more stupidity because ultimately Sydney somehow escapes, even though they're supposed to keep her under. I figure they locked her up to make sure that she wouldn't interfere. Somehow she escapes, and she shows up just in the nick of time to save her from being killed by Beatrice. And then has time to catch up to her, have a 2-minute conversation about swear you won't tell people about our village, and then they go to the bridge, and then she helps her out, and they're standing there on top of the whatever it is that was blocking each side of the bridge. They're standing on top of it. She's like, "We need to hurry, Beatrice and whoever. They know that we're coming here, so we need to hurry." I'm just like, do they know you're coming here? Because they should already be here by now, as long as you guys talked. Like I don't know. That whole thing was weird to me. Like, they should have caught up. Once again, something my mom noticed. And I'm just like, she's even noticing these problems. Come on, guys. These are simple issues that should be resolved, that shouldn't make it into the final episode. You should be watching this and going, guys, I know we want to keep Tara alive. I know that's part of the story. And I know her making it across the bridge is part of the story, but we really need to change some of this because she should be dead by now. She should realistically be dead by now. So, yeah, all of that was really poor. I think there was one other mistake that got to me. I can't think of it at the moment. I will say the fake out at the end with Heath. She's looking for Heath. She sees black skin, ponytail, and then she goes around there and it's a woman. First of all the walkers on the bridge should be covered in sand. The fact that this one was not is stupid. And on top of that, you have to throw in this little fake out. Like, you couldn't. I don't know. Like, why do they think they need to fake us out? Why do they think they need to have this moment where it's like, oh no, Heath might be dead. Oh, he's not dead. He's not dead. Okay. Why? Either have that be his walker, which would be absolutely crazy and heartbreaking that he practically sacrificed himself to try to save her and then ultimately didn't succeed. Like, she pretty much got lucky in that one of the walkers tackled her off the bridge into the water. So the fact that he died trying to save her and ultimately didn't even succeed in doing that would be sad enough. And then, of course, the fact that we don't really expect him to be dead. Like, after she washed up, I was like, I wonder if he's dead. Well, after all of that happened, after everything that happened at Oceanside, I'm just kind of like, okay, so he's probably not dead. And then they have that scene, I'm like, what if they did kill him off? And then it looks like it's him. It's just like, holy crap, they did kill him. And then they fake us out again. And it's just like, why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you think that is essential? I mean, would it have been nearly as emotional in the second season if they open up the barn and then all of a sudden the little kid with the blonde hair walks out and she's like, oh. And Carol's just like, oh. And then they show her face and it's not even Sophia. It's some other little girl that looks like Sophia. Would that have been nearly as emotional? Would that have been nearly as interesting? No. It would have been like, really? You guys are going to fake me out like that? They killed off Sophia. That was emotional. That was interesting. They haven't done that in a while. There hasn't been a moment like that in a while. Obviously the killing off of Glenn and Abraham, that was emotional, but it wasn't emotional like that. That was a shock emotion. That was a holy shit emotion that made me feel like the show is willing to take some chances. And I don't feel like that anymore. Obviously the Glenn and Abraham thing, that's something that not a lot of people really expected them to do. Not a lot of people expected them to have the guts to kill off two really likable main characters. So, but even then, it's following the comics. It's following the comic books. Both of them are dead at this point. So it's not like they took a huge risk. It was just, nobody really expected them to do what the comics did. And then they did. She's like, oh, okay. So they decided to do it. Sophia, that was a risk. That was intense. That was emotional. It was something so much different. I want to return to that. I want to have a moment like that again. I don't want to have more of these cheap fake out moments where it's like, holy crap, so and so is dead, and then they're not dead. That's Fear the Walking Dead stuff. They did that this season of Fear the Walking Dead. They had a moment where she's like, oh no, she's dead, and then turn and it's a walker that just has the same hair. It's just, this is stupid. So anyway, done talking about that. Let's talk about the good stuff. First of all, the idea surrounding this episode is really intriguing. Not just because it kind of reminds me of Wicker Man, but, just the thought of why did Negan decide to kill off all the men in this group? What caused this? I really hope they do kind of a backstory into what happened with Oceanside. Why did Negan decide to do this to Oceanside? What caused him to kill off all the men? What caused him to really torture them to the point where they decide to leave and not come back? What caused all this? I want to see that. And I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, who cares? More backstory, blah, blah, blah. No, this is intriguing. This is a group that managed to survive Negan, kind of. Like they didn't all survive, but they managed to escape. They managed to get out of his reach. That's interesting to me. And I'm curious to see where they're going with it. I want to find out. Negan hasn't done this with any other group. With Rick's group, they killed off a lot of their people, and so he killed off one. And it's just like, he knows he can't kill off all of them because he needs them to get supplies for him. So what caused him to say, okay, I'm going to kill off all the men of this group? What was his thinking there? I want to see what happened with this group. The other thing that's really interesting about this is it would have been so easy for them to have this be kind of I know some people get really sensitive about this subject, so if you're a really sensitive person, you might just want to go ahead and click away from this video because I'm not a sensitive person. I don't give a shit half the time. So, but a lot of what I'm seeing in TV shows and obviously media nowadays is a lot of the liberal media. A lot of the pushing liberal tendencies and ideas, and we gotta have all these characters. Tara is a character who's homosexual. We saw that from the first time pretty much she was introduced. But it wasn't like a big deal. It wasn't something, even Aaron. They haven't made it like a huge deal like, oh guys, you need to see this. We're pro homosexual relationships. We are pro this. We are pro this. Eat it. We're throwing it in your face. We're forcing it down your throat. It's never been that. It's just been a part of it. It's just been a part of the show. And that's why I actually enjoy this. I enjoy having them on the show because it's not forced. It's not thrown in your face to say, look at this, guys, accept it, be accepting. Because whenever you start doing that, it makes me not want to. It makes me want to say, no, I'm going to make my own decisions, thank you very much. You guys don't force that on me. And a lot of shows have started to do that. They've started to have these characters forced into a story, and they've had certain characters discovering their sexuality, and it just feels like it's trying to force this liberal agenda. With Tara, it's never felt that way. It's always felt like she's lesbian. That's all you need to know. It's part of her character. It's part of she likes women. That's all you need to know about her. She has much more about her personality that they focus more on. But that's just a part of it. And they do that with this episode. It's just, it could have been so easy for them. It's a town completely run by women, and you have Tara, the lesbian of the group, walking into this town. They could have done so much with it, but they just said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to fall under the whole, we have to be pro this. We're just going to have it be part of the story. She casually mentions at one point that she wants to get home to her girlfriend, and that's all it was. That's all you need to know, because it's not a big deal. It's not something you have to focus on. So I really like how they did that. I really like how they handled it. It was very well done. Just another part of the story. It's not a big deal. I like that. I like that this show decides to do that with its homosexual characters. It's it's probably the best show as far as handling its homosexual characters. So, let's see what else I like about it. I will say the acting was average. The little girl was a bit, I don't know. She was just kind of robotic, and I don't know if that was supposed to be. Because even like whenever she's about to shoot Tara before Sydney steps in, she sounds very robotic, and I'm not sure if that was the intention. If they were supposed to be like, oh, I want you to sound like you've been brainwashed. It's like, we have to do it. And just emotion? No? Okay. But the rest of the actresses, because not really any actors in it, but they were good. One of the actresses playing Beatrice actually, I've seen her in Supergirl and in Agents of Shield as an agent. So it was kind of funny seeing her be a terrible shot when in these other shows she clearly would have been just straight up headshot, no problem. But overall the acting was good. And then, of course, the story that it furthers, like I was talking about at the end, the whole thing with Rosita asking her what's out there and her saying, nothing, I didn't find anything. It's kind of interesting to see where that's going to go. Of course, Heath is missing now. Question is, did the Saviors find him? Did Kingdom find him? Did he just decide to leave? What happened? I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. Because right now he is missing, and it's kind of worrying to see that he's missing. So we'll see where that's going to go. But overall, I mean, it was a good episode. It was really, it wasn't one of the more intense ones. It wasn't one of the more, oh no, somebody's about to die ones. But it was good. It was good enough to further the story. It was good enough to give us more character development, introduce more characters into the story. Just the mistakes need to go. That's about it. If the mistakes weren't there, it would have been a much better episode. I think people would have enjoyed it more. And of course, you're always going to have the people that are just like, oh, this is a boring episode. I want to see more killing and blah, 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 blah. But like I said before, I will agree with the one fact that, yes, I want to feel that intensity and that shock again. Because it feels like any moment now where, oh no, somebody might be dead. Most of the time, it's not. They're not just going to die like that. They're not going to die off screen. It's probably going to be something where the only main characters that die are going to be mid-season finale or season finale. So, I don't know if they're going to change that, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see where they're going with it next week. It looks like we're going to have a lot of stories going on at once, so we'll see how they handle it. But for now, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What you like and dislike about this episode. Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Walking Dead reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.